question or ask a question, go ahead and turn on your mic whenever you like. So this is like a free environment for talking, okay? Perfect, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Yes, Artem, thank you. Yeah, check your mics, by the way. Right now, before we start, you can check your mics and say something, just in case, that just to make sure.
Okay, could you hear me?
Yes, Artem, thank
Right.
you.
Good.
Thank you
Good.
so much. Thanks a lot. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the essence of memorable TED Talks. And before we move on, let me say a couple of words about me, why I'm here today and why I'm sharing all of that with you. Well, yeah, just like Evelina said, I'm founder of StarTalk Language School, but for the last 5 years, I've been massively involved in business trainings and public speaking trainings. And in the last 3 years, we have been developing our public talk project, which allowed over 60 people to go on stages of Moscow, Istanbul, Yerevan. And this year, we're gonna organize a new event in Dubai and give people access to stage and to speak publicly in front of international audiences. And one more thing about me, this year, I'm going to be a TEDxNU University organizer, and I would really like to spread the idea of TED, spread the idea of how to speak publicly and to inspire people. And that is why I'm here today with you. Well, I would also like to get to know you a little bit. I understand that some of you are able to talk, some of you are not. So I would like you to say a couple of words about you, but in a non-standard way, because you see, a TED style talk is a non-standard presentation, and your self-presentation can also be not standard. So if you can talk, I would like you to say a couple of words about you using this formula. Say your name and what you do. What do you love about what you do? And finally, why are you interested in public speaking? If you can't talk, it's fine. You can write it on the chat. A short self-presentation, but you see, here you focus on what you love about what you do and basically on your goal. Why are you here today? Anastasia, maybe you could start. What do you think? Anastasia?
Yes, good evening for everybody here. My name, as you can see, Anastasia. I'm working in a logistic companies measure in a country. What I'm love? Excellent question. If counting eat and sleep and listening music, what I can talk about me. But if to be serious, of course, it's adventure. It's a new movie, of course, in English. If I understand, if I have enough skills, and about what I'm interested in public speaking, for example, just for me, for myself, for prove me, of course, that's it. Thank for
Thank
your
you.
attention.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you so much. And thank you for going beyond your profession, because you see, like, this is something that we are very much used to. Okay, hi, my name is Kate. I'm assistant to CEO of this company, right? Hi, my name is Julia. I'm marketing director for that company. So people tend to limit themselves to their jobs, but well, definitely we are bigger than our jobs. And thank you for going beyond your self-presentation, your job in your self-presentation. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Guys, write your self-presentations on the chat. Maybe there is someone else who would like to also share their self-presentation with us. Marina.
Me?
Oh my God,
Yeah,
I'm shy. No, I'm
come
shy.
on, go
Thank
ahead, go
you
ahead.
very
Go
much.
ahead. You can do it.
Thank you
You
very
can do
much.
it.
Hello, everyone. What about me? My name is Marina. I'm a product manager of PEG Global. And what I do, what about I'm do? I'm opening a new country and opening new skills of logistic ways of, for example, tracks and full tracks and something like that. And why interesting in public speaking that I told before, maybe from time to time I'm become stressful around the audience and be more shy when I lost my main message. And I hope that our skills help me to be more confident.
Great. Great,
Yes.
Marina. Thank you so much. Now we know about your big goals, your company's big goals.
Yes,
And
yes.
there is one more thing about Marina's self-presentation. As she was speaking about her interest in terms
My
of
interest of
speaking.
what I'm interested languages, I'm interested in music, and what else? And reading.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, such a multi-potential person you are. Absolutely. And I loved one thing about your self-presentation. When you were speaking about presentations and public speaking, what you did, you shared your fear, your vulnerability. Like sometimes I can lose my message.
Yes.
Sometimes and
Uh,
you know, that idea resonates with most of us, right? Because
yes.
well, public speaking is scary.
Yes. It's
It
terrible.
is
Oh my
scary.
God.
So thank you, thank you. You know, sometimes when a speaker shares their fears, their struggles,
Yes.
their vulnerabilities, and their weakness, it
I
really
go along with you. Yeah.
it really helps to connect with the audience, because what I feel is like, me too. Yeah, I'm not alone. Thank you for saying
Um,
that. Thanks a lot.
from time to time, yes, I go along with you. And one addition for my
Mhm.
speaking, for my presentation, and the most important to find attention grabbing words to connect with the audience. Yeah,
Great,
yeah.
great. That is exactly what we're going to talk about. Thank you,
Yeah.
Marina. Thank you, Anastasia, for volunteering. Guys, please write your self-presentations on the chat. I will also comment on them if you like. So today we're here to talk about TED Talk. And before I share, like today, I'm going to share 4 key ingredients of what makes a talk great. Yeah, well, a TED Talk is a format which is super popular all over the world. Well, they got like tens of millions viewers, and that is not accidental because it's like a formula. And today I'm going to share 4 ingredients with you. But before I do that, I would like to ask you, why do you like TED Talks? Guys, again, yeah, you can engage with me, well, using your microphone. Yeah, you can speak up, or you can type your ideas on the chat. So what do you think are the key ingredients? Well, what do you think? Well, why do you like TED Talks? Who would like to start? Alexandra, what
Well,
about?
I can
Okay,
start.
Artem.
This for me, I like the ideas actually, and
Uh,
that they provide like a deep explanation of everything, and it's like really nice
mhm.
way.
Okay, ideas, right? The ideas
Yeah,
are well, yeah, resonating with you, right? On the one hand, and you like deep explanations, so you get what they're talking about. Cool. Thank you,
okay.
Artyom. Thank you very much. What else? What else? Why do you like? Well, why do you love or like TED Talks? What else? What makes them special compared to like, okay, other genres? Yeah, other like business presentations that you hear a lot in all business conferences. Alexandra, what about you?
Yeah, I think that it's wonderful possibility to face up wonderful people, open-minded people, yeah, who can be also sophisticated, yeah, and you in the process of the communication, yeah, you can change your experience, yeah, during this process of communication, yeah, and maybe, yeah, it would be your wonderful friend in the future, in advance, yeah. Example.
Okay, so you can hear inspiring people, and sometimes those ideas could be mind-changing or even life-changing, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Open-minded people.
Thank you. Yeah, if you keep your mind open, right, you are. Okay,
Thank you.
what else? Yeah. What else makes TED Talks special?
I think it's close to stand up. It's then you find to share main message, maybe your illness, for example, some illness for everyone.
So true stories, right?
True stories, yeah.
True experiences.
Yeah.
So it's not something theoretical. You can tell that this is what the person has been through, right? And you can trust their stories, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. Anything else? Okay, great. Guys, I would like you to remember all of those ideas because you're absolutely right. All of these factors, first of all, the ideas which are very often revolutionary or out of the box, something that resonates with you. At the same time, it's about deep explanations, right? Not something superficial, but something deep that resonates with you. Definitely, that is about inspiration and life-changing thoughts, insights, right? that you can act on if you keep your mind open. Similar to stand up, because those are based on true stories and true experiences. And yes, you are very right. So thank you very much. Let's move on to the first ingredient of a powerful TED Talk. And it is very simple. And that was Artem who pointed out that thing about ideas. You see, TED style talks or TED Talks, they focus on just one key message, one key idea, which is later on, just like Artem said, are backed up with these deep explanations. Why it is very different from business presentations? I'm sure you have been to a number of business conferences where people come up with a checklist for this and the tips for that, and this is what we did, and that is what we did, and there's this theory, that approach, and this approach. And you listen to that and you're like, wow, okay, that is very interesting, but I don't quite catch how that approach works and how that approach is different from this. Or, well, I would like to use that, but I don't understand how. Or maybe sometimes you may be resisting, like, okay, well, what he's talking about is not exactly how it worked with me. And you see, one more thing, if you give presentations, this is just for you to know, if you give presentations, you need to keep in mind that people will take away only 10% of information, 10%. So I know that whatever I'm sharing right now with you is not going to be there in your mind after 1 month, 100%. I know that you will take away only 10% of all the information. So you see, the 10% can be the key idea. Instead of giving 10 ideas, you can give just one. Provide argumentation, give a story, explain exactly how it works, why it works, and what could be done and how it could be utilized. You see, instead of giving 10 ideas, you give just one. and people take it away. And that is how you make sure that your idea is there in their minds. Does it make sense in a way?
Yep.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Look, what I want to show you now is this. Sorry. So look, again, one TED Talk, one idea. And very often it can be boiled down to just one sentence. And that is the power of a great talk. If it's easy to like share the key idea of the talk, that is how it actually gets spreading. This is how it gets shared. For example, oh, Kate, you know, yesterday I watched this amazing video where a speaker explained that a company is just like family. So if we keep our colleagues safe, they will shine and thrive and develop. You see, I can boil down the whole talk into just 2 sentences. And that is how ideas get shared. You see? So right now I'm going to play a short video for you where the essence of big, TED Talks, well, first of all, they're not big. They're up to 18 minutes, right? It's a short format. But basically, the idea is that can be boiled down to a key message, a key idea. Just watch. Oh, can you hear the sound?
No, something wrong.
There is no sound. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, it doesn't work. All right, look, instead of that, what we could do, maybe you could remember a TED Talk that you love most. Artem, we will start with you. A TED Talk that you love most. What is the key message of that? Why do you like it? Why did that idea resonate with you so much?
Well, the first that comes in my mind, it's they talk
Artem?
about, yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Guys, can you hear Artem?
Very well.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there is something about my sound. Yes,
Mm,
Artem. Yeah.
yeah.
Hear you now.
Now is it okay? Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first that comes in my mind is they talk about rejection. I suppose there was one guy who made an experiment, and he tried to overcome his essential fear of the rejections. And yeah, he made an experiment where he for 100 days he just pick one task, some task which you definitely you will get rejection, and he just do it for 100 days. And something like just try to borrow $100 from some lifeguard. And he just approached to the person he doesn't know and just ask like, can you give me $100? and he just explained why we are afraid of all this, why we have this fear of this approach of this these rejections. And actually after a while he just understands that it's nothing, and it's like it's not so fearful, dreadful, yeah, to ask some things. Yeah, and his key message probably was like, you should just ask about, because a lot of problems you can solve just asking about something for person, and don't be afraid of that.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Artem. You see how an idea can be boiled down to just one message, right? If you're afraid of something, if you're afraid of rejection, just go ahead and ask the people. Dive into your fear, right? Cool. And Artem, thank you so much for providing a little bit of context. Because sometimes when we share ideas and we just say, okay, this is how it's done, this is what we should do, but we don't give the context, people don't understand, like, okay, why should we do like that? So by providing this context, right? Okay, he was afraid of that, and this is what he did, and this is what happened, and this is how he managed to overcome his fear. So the key idea is this. That really worked because you give the context, you explain what happened, and then you give the key message. And by the time you give the key message, we are ready to accept it. You see? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next time, if you give a presentation, simply ask yourself, what is my key idea? One idea. One talk, one idea. What is my key idea? And you see, it's very important that it needs to be so kind of clear that you could ask any person in the room, what is the key message? And they will, definitely they will give you different interpretations, because people every time you give a message, it resonates with them in a different way, right? We all have different experiences, we all have different backgrounds, and we all interpret things differently. But still, the key message, if you have it clearly stated, and foregrounded, and you provide the arguments and the stories to see how it works, it needs to be very clear. So just ask yourself, what is my key message? What is my key idea? And you will see how much easier it will be for you to actually structure your talk. If you want to use something, but that it has nothing to do with your key message and your key idea, throw it out, because people will not get it. One idea, one message, one through line, so to say. Okay, the next thing is this. Alexandra, you kind of spotlighted that in a way. You said that a TED Talk is when you see inspiring people and their ideas can be life-changing if you keep your mind open. Why it is so? Because a TED-style talk has a very clear mission: to give people a reason to care. What it means, very often speakers they kind of face one and the same problem. Like, okay, I want to talk about this. I have this miracle knowledge and I want to share it with the world. But the question is, do people care? Do people need that sacred knowledge? What is there for them? Right? For example, I don't know, if you don't drink coffee and I give you coffee, will you take the coffee? Probably not, right? But if you're thirsty and I give you a glass of water, you will definitely take it. So how to actually make it work, how to turn it from me giving you something to me helping you. It's very simple. I mean, it's not simple, but here's how it works. First of all, it's a good idea to create the essence of me to thought running through your mind. And Marina, the stories that you hear, you have highlighted one of the key ingredients of a great TED Talk, the stories that people tell. Stories are a very, very powerful tool in order to create this me too thing. When you share a story, people, they biologically jump into that. They start seeing the world through your eyes. And when you speak about, well, okay, the weakness that you experience, or vulnerability that you felt, or a problem that you faced, and how you felt at that moment, and then your way towards you overcoming that, it really resonates with people, because very often in your story, people can see themselves, because we all face a lot of fears that we all have in common, right? Like, for example, if we speak about public speaking, wow, it is scary. And if you have given a presentation once, you know exactly how scary that is. And when Marina was talking about her vulnerability, why it is a challenge for her to speak publicly, we all had this feeling of, oh, me too. I also lose track of words. I also go beyond timing. I'm also scared before I go on stage. And when you establish this me too connection with the people, that is when they want to listen. You see?
Yes, I see.
So first of all, when you give a presentation, think of this. Is there a me too moment in something that you share? And the second thing is like this. You know, very often people say like, I want to speak about that. I want to share this. But yes, definitely, every presentation needs to have a goal and needs to have an idea. But if you just transform this question a tiny little bit, instead of saying like, I want to speak about, you say, well, I would like them to understand what, how to do things, why that, what is that, and so on. You make a shift in perspective. Instead of what I want to give, what are they going to take? What I would like them to take, what I would like them to realize. You see?
Yeah.
So that is very much about changing the perspective from you to them. What do they want? What do they need? And how can I help them? How can I help them to realize? Well, here's a formula. For those of you who are visual, I'm a visual person. I love graphs and things. I like visualization. So if we boil it down to a formula, people have pains, okay? We all have fears. We all have problems. We all are struggling with things, right? Well, imagine, if we go back to the analogy of a thirsty person, if the person is thirsty, is their pain. They are thirsty. They want to drink some water. So we need to establish what are their pains, what are they struggling with? And that is exactly where your stories come from. You ask yourself, have I had a similar pain? Have I faced a similar problem? Have I felt a similar fear, just like them, right? And then you think like, okay, I understand their pains. I understand what they need help with. And that is exactly what you give them. And here's how I can help them. Here's what I can give them. If I'm thirsty and I want to drink water, I'm going to give you water, right? What are the pains and what can you give them? What are the gains? And that is how you establish, that is how you define the goal of your presentation. Your idea is based on this, the pains, the gains, and that is how you define the goal. Does it make sense in a way?
Yeah,
Or you have some questions? Maybe have some questions. Maybe you, maybe you have a different style of establishing your goal of a presentation, defining your idea. It would be super cool if you share, actually. Marina, how do you establish your ideas? Like, okay, you're about to give a presentation. How do you find the idea of your talks? What do you?
As for me, first of all, I find something in common. And I try to concentrate audience. I try to be shorter and brighter. It's very important when you speak about important when you speak about important problem and about important terms and something like that. And
so you connect with your audience.
Yes, I connect really much, and I ask some questions, random questions for everyone, and give example of my life, from my life. Yes. Yeah.
Great. So again, by asking questions, you elicit their pains, and then you give the examples that could be their gains, right?
Yes.
Now I see where you're coming from. Now I see what's hurting, and here's what I can offer you. It's just like a doctor, right? Before a doctor prescribes you whatever medicine, they need to see what is going on with you. They need to.
And then you ask some questions. Audience become more concentrate. And
right.
Oh my God, what's had happened now? Maybe I next, maybe this, and like they hear very clever.
Right. Cool. So we want to be doctors on stage, right? Where we listen, when we try to connect, and that is when we provide a medicine. But well, definitely, if it is a prepared talk and you have no room for interaction, you can prepare that. Like you can think about that before the presentation. Like, who are those people? Who is going to listen to them? How do they live? What do they see? Well, what could be their pain? And like, okay, it's hypothetical, right? Like you cannot really talk to those people, but you could imagine that. And based on that, do you, provide define the gains that they will get, and that is where your idea comes from. Okay, let us move on to the third ingredient, and it's called like this: build your idea with familiar concepts. What I mean here is this: very often, for example, all right, I'm a professional in education, right? Specifically language education. And the area of language education has a lot of terminology. So if, for example, I go to a conference for teachers, it will be super easy for me. Well, I actually remember finding myself the first time in a teachers conference, and I was overwhelmed with all those ELT, TKT, CIQs, QIS. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Right? So you see, and I'm sure, like, if you're a professional in your area, then all those terms, that terminology, concepts, and things like this are easy for you because, well, this is what you hear every day. But if you find yourself in a totally different area, even the smallest, simplest things may be super confusing for you. You see, TED style talks are about broad audience, okay? Like, for example, if you know that you're a marketing professional and you're going to speak at a marketing conference, and the people who are going to listen to you are going to be marketing professionals, no problem. You can definitely use all the vocabulary which is professional, and that is just fine. But if you realize that the audience is broad and they may have no experience, they may have no knowledge in a specific area, you may want to simplify what you say, okay? And I gave you an example of vocabulary, but in fact, it works all together with everything else that we speak about. For example, I don't know, we have been struggling with organization behavior and decided to introduce the idea of meritocracy. And you're like, okay, what was the struggle? Meritocracy, why meritocracy? What is meritocracy? How does it work? How did you do that, right? Well, like basically you're confused because what I'm saying is kind of about me very much, but you don't get what is the problem, and you don't get what we did, and you don't get why we did that. So the idea is like this: try to simplify it. Build your ideas around familiar concepts. Think of something that your audience will definitely understand, no matter their background, no matter their experience. They need to understand what you're speaking about. And based on that, can you explain complex things? This is the beauty of TED Talks. You can see a variety of topics. They could be scientific, business, social, psychology, a variety of topics. And they explain very complex, complicated things in astrodynamics, I don't know, neuroscience, with something very similar. Let me, very familiar and very simple. Let me share with you one piece to show you how it works. This is Simon Sinek. He is one of my most favorite speakers, and actually my journey into TED Talk started with him. So he's like, I don't know, the key speaker for me personally. So I'm going to play a short episode where he uses the technique, which is called analogy. Analogy is a technique that helps you do exactly that, explain something complex with some familiar concepts. I would like you to watch it, and then we will talk about it.
The opportunities. The closest analogy I can give to what a great leader is, it's like being a parent. If you think about what being a great parent is, what do you want? What makes a great parent? We want to give our child opportunities, education, discipline them when necessary, all so that they can grow up and achieve more than we could for ourselves. Great leaders want exactly the same thing. They want to provide their people opportunity, education, discipline when necessary, build their self-confidence, give them the opportunity to try and fail, all so that they could achieve more than we could ever imagine for ourselves. Charlie Kim, who's the CEO of a company called NextJump in New York City, a tech company, he makes the point that if you had hard times in your family, would you ever consider laying off one of your children? We would never do it. Then why do we consider laying off people inside our organization? Charlie.
Okay, what was the analogy? Alexandra, could you wrap it up? How did you understand this analogy?
Oh, sorry for my microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So, turn it on. So analogy with being a parent, firstly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's very, I know this.
A parent, and that is the analogy for what? For whom?
For our children, yeah. And as I see, he means the situation when you as a parent give your children as more possibilities as you can, yeah,
right. And this is a familiar, that is a familiar concept, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we all have different families, but we kind of get what a family is, right? Who is a parent, who are children, what are their roles, how they interact. It's the concept which helps him to explain something more complex. And what is that more complex that he is trying to explain with the analogy of a family? What was it? Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
That you would your main wish your child to be involved into many tasks, yeah, and to surround your children, how can I say? I don't know.
Give them opportunity, right? Give them
Yeah,
opportunity.
opportunities
for growth and
here. Yeah. So, and yeah, I see.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alexandra. Well, Anastasia, how did you catch it? Yes, there was an idea of a parent and children and family and development within the family. But that is the analogy which was used to explain a higher concept. What was the higher concept?
How I can understand this short video that this simple sorry about how to be a parents and about how to be a CEO of be parents of many your employer and
Right.
and he asked a question: if we don't lie to our children, why we lie in a bad situation to our employers? That that I can that I can understand this video.
Right. You are. You see, leadership is a big concept, right?
Yes.
There are so many books about leadership, so many courses about leadership.
But still lying in a bad situation.
And look, well, instead of giving like the whole workshop about what leadership is, he narrows it down to the idea of a leader is like a parent.
Yes.
And employees are like children. So why? When we it's okay. Like we think it's okay to fight. It wasn't about lying. It was about laying off your employees, firing, dismissing, right? It's okay. It's like business practice to lay off, to fire our employees. But we would never do that to our children. It's impossible. We would never even think about that. If our child is underperforming at school, what we will do? We will help them. Extra classes, extra support, I don't know, language school, whatever, we will help them. So why do we lay off our employees? Maybe we should help them, right?
Right.
It could be a big course about the roles, responsibilities, motivation, engagement, whatever, relationships, communication. But you use the very similar, a very familiar and very simple concept, and you get it, right? So sometimes instead of giving like a workshop or a course or a series of workshops, you can narrow it down to a simple idea, and analogy is a very powerful tool. Think about it. Like I said before, yeah, when Marina was explaining, this is how I act when I speak to the public. I ask them questions and I give them a recommendation. It's just like a doctor, right? So when you give an image, like something simple, a simple image, from a different area, it's very easy for people to quickly understand what you're talking about. You see? Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And look, the last thing, the fourth ingredient is this. Make the idea worth sharing. This is, this is the slogan of TED Talk, right? And I've always been wondering, like, okay, ideas worth spreading, ideas worth sharing. Why? Why isn't it just inspiring ideas or amazing ideas, thought-provoking ideas? Ideas worth sharing. What do you guys think? Why is it like this? Like, why is it the slogan? What do you think, Marina? What do you think?
Why this task is slogan?
Yeah. Well, a TED Talk is about ideas worth
For
sharing. Yes.
Make your main message. As for me, it means that you can make your main message important for everyone is the same, and important for not everyone, but yes, everyone, and important, and maybe make your main message close to problem, that connect with everyone. And it's really worth to sharing, to spread it, and in this time, for example. And when I speak and then I think about TED, I thought from time to time I imagine Greta Thunberg. Yes, yes, it's really, and it's a very
someone who inspired
interesting example of speaker. Yeah. And she had talking about main message that worth sharing.
Right. Just imagine yourself, you sharing something. You heard something, you saw something, and you're texting your friend. Okay, imagine, for example, I don't know, you watched a movie and it's like super hilarious. It's super funny. You had like a great laugh, and you know that your friend is in trouble, like, okay, they're depressed or whatever. What will you do? You will definitely share that with her, right? You will say, oh, Anna, listen, there's this great comedy. You should definitely watch it. Why? Because you know the pain, right? And you really want to help. You have tried it, you have seen it, you have watched it, it has worked for you, like it moved you, it resonated with you, and now you want to tell the world about it. You want to share it with your friends, with your colleagues, with your parents, with the world, with social media. So if an idea is worth sharing, it's not just an inspiring idea or a great idea. It means that that idea resonated with your audience. It worked on, like it empowered them, it impacted them. And now they want to keep communicating your ideas to more and more and more and more people. That is why TED Talk is so powerful, because it's viral. People watch a TED Talk and they start sharing it with other people because they love the idea so much. It resonated with them so much. They want to help other people. You see? So the idea is this, that by understanding who your audience are, by changing perspective from what I want to say to what do they want to hear, how can what I can say be helpful for them?
But I think it depends on them, it depends on message.
Definitely, for sure, absolutely. Definitely, there is something that is a great idea. But you can ask yourself, for example, like, okay, if I say it the way I say it, will they take it? Will they accept it? Right? For example, there is a student of mine like he also was part of Public Talk project, and he has this amazing idea. It's brilliant. It goes like this. So we are all afraid of making mistakes, right? Well, people generally are afraid of making mistakes. Some of them are afraid of them less, some of them are afraid of them more. But in general, well, it's not nice to be making mistakes. And he has unlocked for himself a formula that, right now, if I look at my mistakes 10 years ago, I realize they were nothing. Right? Like
Yeah.
when right now you look at yourself 10 years ago and you think like, okay, this was the mistake that I made and I was so concerned about it. Like it bothered me so much. And now I realize that's nothing. So his idea is like this. If you've made a mistake, try to think of yourself after 10 years and ask yourself, is that an important mistake? The idea is great, but the thing is that it may not resonate with everybody. Like it really resonates with me because I can really envision myself at 10 years. Like I can really like see myself, what I can be and what I will be in 10 years. And I can really think of what I'm doing now from that perspective. But it may not work with all people, simply because there could be other things that they're struggling with. The idea of not exaggerating mistakes is great, okay? And the example of you looking back into yourself 10 years ago is also great, but the method may not work for everybody. So basically, the thing is that your message could be great, but it may not work for all the people. Like for the idea is amazing, but maybe you may want to explain how to apply it in different ways so that different people can find their approach on their own. You see?
Yeah.
You may have an idea which is great and which can resonate, but you need to make sure that it's not just one technique that will work for some people, but may not work for other people. You may want to think like, okay, what do I give these people and these and these? And what could it be? What are they ready to take? If they take that, they will share that. Okay?
Yeah.
Look, I would, well, here's a book that I highly recommend. It's written by Chris Anderson, the founder of TED, basically. So, in fact, what I have told you is not new because all those ingredients are there in the book with the examples by Chris Anderson and TED Talk speakers. I have shared my experience, my stories, well, the examples that I personally like. But if you want to learn more, definitely it's a good idea to go to the original and learn from the best. So look, and there is one more thing that I would like to share with you today. And I think that is like the key to every talk, to every preparation of every talk. And the idea is like this. Are you a taker or you're a giver? What is it about your attitude that you have when you go on stage? And here's a short video for you on that again by Simon Sinek. I love him. A second.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell people when they ask you, how can I present like you? How can I get better?
The thing that really, really helps is I've learned about the perspective to change my perspective. So for example, I show up to give, and I always remind people that the most important thing about being an effective presenter, an effective speaker, is you have to show up with a giving attitude. You have to show up to give. You know something, you've seen something, you've done something, you've tried something that someone else thinks others need to hear. That's why they invited you to speak. The problem is the number of people who show up to take, to get. And you can see it, it's very plain to see. People ask a question and they say, you'll have to buy my book. Or you could just tell me the answer because you know the answer because you wrote the book, right? But clearly they're trying to drive book sales. It's a taking mentality. Every single slide of their PowerPoint has their Instagram, their email, their website, their Facebook. Well, clearly they want you to follow them. They want you to reach out. The last slide is their website and their email, right? They have a taking mentality. They come up and the first thing they do is tell you their credentials. Hi, my name is Dr. Blah blah. I have 6 PhDs. I've worked for 55 companies. I advise CEOs and generals. And let me tell you a little something. It's about them. It's very easy and very quick to discern who's the giver and who's the taker. The best speakers, 100% of them. You look at all the top TED folks, Sir Ken Robinson, Amy Cuddy, Brene Brown, right? Dan Pink, all of them. All of them are there to give. None of them want anything from anybody, not even your approval. I don't know any great speaker that stands in the backstage that goes, I'm gonna get a standing ovation. You may get one if you earn it, if they decide that what you have given them is of value. But that's not the reason you show up. You show up to give.
Mm-hmm. How would you like this idea?
Nice. That's great.
Yeah. Well, how could you interpret that, Artem?
Well, it's just about that you should give and not take. Well, you should think about your audience and what they want from you, why they invite you.
Mm-hmm. And what can you give them, right?
Yes.
And very often, like we think that, for example, I'm very bad at sales. Like I have prepared, my marketologist has prepared a slide with a QR code for the for the public talk course that I'm supposed to show you. But I don't want that so much because I hate sales. And you see, very often when we do things that we don't like, it clearly gives us away. Even if you're forced to sell, but you're not a taker and you're not a seller, you just want to share, you just want to give. You sincerely want to do that. Even if you're forced to show that QR code slide, you will not do that correctly. So the idea is like this. Essentially, definitely, it's a good idea to just think about it. Okay, what can I give? What can I share? How can I help? Sincerely. And that's it, basically. Look, the last thing that I want to ask you is this. What will you take away? Because I know that people will take away only 10% of information. I would like to make sure that you will leave with at least one idea from today. What is it going to be? I would like each of you to share. Like, again, you can type or you can say, Anastasia, let's start with you. One idea that you will take away.
The last question, I think it's important not just because of talking or meeting, it's just for everyone, for yourself. Are you taking or you giver? What you can share with the world, what you can share with people around you, colleagues, family, friends, or you want to share something. Good idea, as you say, maybe good film, it's a teeny thing, but sometimes when you say it about good movie, somebody said, I will watch it, and the evening will be definitely different. bad behavior, good behavior. I
Right.
think you understand, and I think, of course, many ideas and insights about talks, about how to make and create your speech more easy for everyone and for you, and don't be so scared like Marina and me. I'm so much scared every time when I talk with somebody more one people. I think, but the main thing I think that is the question.
Are you
Thank you so much.
the giving mentality?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. And there is nothing wrong with giving mentality. It's just today the world is so much taking. Like if you do something on Instagram, you need to think of how you can sell. If you do this, you need to think of how you can sell. If you do that, it needs to lead to, well, selling something. But what if I'm just there to give, right? And the thing is that even if you're just there to give, people will still follow you if they are interested. If you truly inspire them, they will definitely, I don't know, find things about what you do. They will learn more. And like, even if you're not selling directly, simply by giving what you have to give, people will definitely, connect. And that is what we need, right?
Yes, right.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Anastasia. Yes, Marina, what about you? Guys, you can also type one idea that you will take away today.
I take away one main idea to be doctor for everyone, because I know what I give her.
Okay.
I'm not a taker. I give my energy, I give my message every day, every minute, for everyone. And maybe I'm save many cases about speaking. And what about Anastasia? I want to invite you in my work group, and you don't be shy to speak from big audience. Yes, I give you some skills, very, very interesting soft skills. If you want,
Okay, it's good idea.
Right. So
why
you
not? Like facilitator, yes. And it's and other other moments was well known and familiar for me. And instead of that, thank you, my colleagues, and thank you for the speaking and good.
Thank you so much. So a speaker is like a doctor. You like that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Marina. Yes, Artem, what about you? One idea that you will take away?
Well, as for me, probably that what I'm gonna take away is that idea that actually not new for me, but sometimes it is useful to remind that before you speak, you should think about what people want to hear from you, and in this case, you should speak in this way. That just
Maybe, yeah, what do they want to hear? Like, what do they need to hear? Right?
yeah. Why they need you to speak with them?
Yeah, why?
What what they
Change
want to.
perspective from what you have to share to what do they might they want to need to hear. Because again, like, we never know, right? There is no guarantee that everybody is gonna love what you say. You may get a standing ovation if you earn it, right? But there is no guarantee. What may people need to hear? All right. Thank you.
True.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Vera, what about you? Vera or Natalia? Girls, you there with us? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to save that. So I'm really happy that you will leave with at least one idea that, yeah, it will be useful. And yes, well, there is nothing new that I have shared, but sometimes it's a good idea to remind ourselves remind ourselves of what matters. And finally, okay, a different QR code, not about the course, but this is something that I really hope you will do, because I really want to stay in touch with you. We have a Telegram group, which is called Star Talk Network. And well, here we share different events and workshops and opportunities to learn more, to engage. Well, you know, we are a school which organizes huge conferences all over the world. The one upcoming is going to be in September in Istanbul. We make online workshops on different skills, different languages, for children, for adults, and I would really like to stay in touch with you if you would like to do that as well. Right. So thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure to be here with you. Now I'm gonna give a word to Evelina, because Evelina has something to share with you in terms of sales. I'm gonna give her the ball. Thank you so much, guys. I wish you a great weekend, and thanks for joining today. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
this
you,
workshop.
Ekaterina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank you,
nice day.
Екатерина.
You too, guys.
Да, спасибо большое за выступление. Немного разбавлю нашу английскую встречу русским языком. Я хотела бы вам рассказать о системе корпоративных скидок, которая существует в нашей школе. Я очень надеюсь, что вы вдохновились мастер-классом Екатерины, и вам очень понравилось. И если вы еще не учитесь в нашей школе, либо если вы хотите изучить какой-то новый язык для себя, то это возможно благодаря программе лояльности. В системе корпоративных скидок вы можете учиться со скидкой за свой собственный счет. При этом для компании это будет бесплатно. И если вы бы хотели присоединиться к нам, либо если, возможно, вы бы хотели, чтобы ваши дети учились, у нас это тоже возможно, то, пожалуйста, напишите плюсики в чат, и мы свяжемся с вами. Я расскажу подробнее про это. В целом на сегодня это все. Я благодарю вас за встречу и увидимся на наших новых мастер-классах. Будем очень рады вас видеть.
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Всё, до свидания.
Все,
До
спасибо.
свидания. Хорошего вечера. Всем пока.
Хорошего вечера.